Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We absolutely appreciate you guys still tuning in to us here for some 2 months or so we've been doing this. So I'm Drew. That's Rachel. We are engaged and whatnot, and that's why we decide to do things like this, because it's a fun couples thing to do, especially considering she's not seen any movies ever.
It helps me bond. It helps me feel like I'm doing something for you because you do everything for me.
Aw. It is very sweet of you to say that, baby. I appreciate it.
It does.
So, since it's February, we're going down the romantic route. Last week we did Ghost, and this week we're doing When Harry Met Sally, a pretty universally loved film.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people really are entertained by this movie. They really like it, and it's been
Let
voted.
me tell you what. Just kidding. That was a joke.
And it's been voted by the American Film Institute as like the 6th best romantic comedy of all time. Kind of, it's well received and stuff like that. So I'm very interested to see what your take is on it, because I've only been able to read you, I think, once during all of these and get an idea as to where you were at on the film. So it's fun that you still surprise me with some things like this. So, When Harry Met Sally.
Harry Met Sally, 1989. I will be honest. I do not have many notes about this movie.
Ooh, wow.
I don't have many notes about this movie.
Wow.
I
don't know if that's good or bad. We'll find out at the end here. We'll find out.
So it was Nora Ephron. She wrote
writer.
this?
Yes.
Why do I think she's an author?
I don't think she's a screenwriter.
She's just a screenwriter.
Yeah.
She has not
She
written
became
any
a director later on.
books.
Correct.
Okay,
Not that I know of.
I thought she was like, Nicholas Sparks type author or something.
No.
Okay.
She is known for her rom-coms and some family comedies as well. I think Father of the Bride, parts 1 and 2, and like everyone else, I could be mixing her up with Nancy Myers.
I was about to say, wait, which one does Rosa Diaz like? And I'm pretty sure it's not Nora Ephron.
What's really funny is I couldn't remember that either. And I tried to Google around to find it because I couldn't remember it, and I couldn't find that either. Like, no one had anything that would tell me. And I'm like, how's this not part of her bio?
Right?
It's like the one, quote, girly thing about Rosa Diaz is that she loves either Nora Ephron or Nancy Myers.
I'm 75% sure it's Nancy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought she was an author. It was interesting. I learned a lot about the dynamics of relationships between like men and women. I cannot give you any concrete examples, but it was the car ride from Chicago to New York where
At the very beginning. Yeah.
I was like, is that really how
the way the dynamics are seen between the two? I when I was younger, I definitely bought into that whole idea that men and women could not be platonic, because of when you're a straight guy, when you're a cis straight guy, I don't know what the proper thing is for it, so you'll have to help me out. But if you're a straight guy, yes, almost 9 out of 10 of them, sex is the only thing you think about, especially men of a certain age.
right?
Really in a certain age, you really do. But as I've gotten older, I realize that like that's not true at all. I have plenty of platonic friends. Some attractive, some not. That doesn't really play a factor to me anymore. Not anymore. It would have when I was younger. It does not at all anymore. And I think at least my experience or my take on it is you have to be comfortable in yourself and who and where you are in your world.
That makes sense.
To then be able to not be some sort of horn dog jerk who's just hanging around women to hopefully get laid.
I feel like that comes with maturity too.
I agree.
Like
I
that's part
agree.
of the college mentality, for lack of a better term, is party, girls, booze, or boys, girls or boys, whatever you're into. And I guess thinking back into college, I had friends in college, guy friends in college that I considered friends. Later, I learned they felt very differently. And now, like the people I work with, I can be friends with the guys I work with. I can be friends with the girls I work with too, but that's not the point. one of my best friends is a guy, but it also goes back to that rule that he is in a relationship and she's also one of my best friends.
Right.
But like, I guess that was a rule. But I mean, I was
Yeah.
friends with him when I was single.
Yeah.
He was still in a relationship. I was single. Nothing ever weird happened between us.
And that's just, and I agree. I think that's something that comes with like maturity and a little bit of world weariness works you in there. But I think ultimately what he says is true in the beginning. I do believe that's true. But like I said earlier, it's men of a certain age.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure there's even women of a certain age too. They're probably less likely than men to just be focused on, you know, the prize at the end. But there certainly are women who are absolutely just focused on that too, and need to do what they need to do. So I think that's really just men and women. We work it out eventually, and we all get older and we mature and we figure out that like this is, you know, I mean, it's going to sound sappy, I know, but hey, I guess we're in February. It's the time to be sappy.
Don't act like you're not a sappy person.
I am a sappy person, but, you know, since I've been with you, like that's never been a thing. Like it's one of those things I never, in any relationship, sorry if I have any exes watching, but in any relationship that I've had in the past, there was a point, and it was usually fairly early on in the relationship, that I wouldn't say I'd never cheated, but my mind certainly did.
Okay.
You know, it certainly wandered away, and that's honestly never been a thing.
Oh.
So it's once again, when you become comfortable in yourself, comfortable in your situation, and life's good.
Yeah.
There's no reason to seek anything else out other than to expand your circle of friends and the people that you would trust. Mm-hmm. And sex doesn't have to be a part of that.
Nope.
So there you go.
Okay.
Hope you all came for that TED Talk.
Thanks for coming. Okay.
Throw you off of that
You
philosophy.
did. I mean,
I got all
I'm
philosophical.
I just have to give me a second.
There you
to,
go. Collect
to
your thoughts,
see
baby.
if I have any response to that, or if
there's none needed. If you want to give me one off cam, that's fine too. But it's, you know.
No, I'm fully on board with you. Like, I understand. Anyway, so the couples they interviewed in between, those were just acting people.
Those were actors, but the stories they were telling were based on real couples.
Oh, really?
The director Rob Reiner, preparing for this movie, went out and interviewed real life couples, and then, I think he taped the interviews so that the actors could see the way these people carried themselves, the way they acted, so that way they could get the essence of these people and be real, come off as real people. And then they were actors who are actually in the film who did it. But it's I think it's a cool storytelling technique.
Yeah, it's like a little segue, and sometimes you felt like it related back to the storyline of the movie, and it was really cute. I liked it.
I love that about this movie. I had forgotten about those. It's, once again, I mean, like I said, I think I'm rediscovering some movies as we're doing this.
Billy Crystal.
Yes.
I feel like I should know him from somewhere, but the only thing I can think of is he Mike Wazowski?
Yes.
He is Mike Wazowski.
Oh, I got another one for you.
Okay.
That you're really going to like.
Yeah.
He's Miracle Max.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Miracle Max. By the way, same director, both these movies.
Okay.
Rob Reiner directed both Princess Bride and this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, he's Miracle Max.
Okay. And then he's been popping up. I probably Googled something about the movie after. Now he's all popping up in my Google feeds. Like he's going to host the Oscars or whatever for the 10th time. And this and that. And he's got a new movie coming out. I couldn't tell you what it's called, but I know that he's got a new movie coming out.
He's got one though.
And then so Sally's two friends.
Yes.
One was Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
The girl who was dating the married man.
Yes. It was Carrie Fisher.
I'm not going to lie, that joke got old. The he's never going to leave you joke.
Yeah, I can see that.
And the other one, that's what I Googled. Because the other one to me looked like Maya Rudolph.
Oh God, no.
I know it wasn't her. Obviously, I know it wasn't her. But I was thinking maybe it was like her mom or aunt or somebody, but it wasn't.
I don't even know who it was.
I
To be
don't
honest.
remember either, but I could find no relation.
No, I don't know.
So Carrie Fisher's character just carries a Rolodex around. Was that supposed to be part of her quirky, jokey?
I guess I don't know. I thought it was funny because it's really funny because it's super antiquated now. So it's not like it's you know it I don't know. It just you figure she just have a black book. Maybe.
Yeah.
So I think that was even the joke of the joke was even at that time she could have just had a black book.
Okay.
And been like, hey, here's a friend of mine, here's a guy friend, why don't you call him? Why don't you do this or whatever? And instead she literally has a Rolodex with index cards that she just carries with her everywhere. Yeah, I think that's just a funny prop joke. I think that's all it is.
And I'm like, I don't understand New York City culture. Maybe it's like a New York City thing where like, socialite clubs. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that kind of thing.
I don't know. I didn't like the look they gave her character. That was all. I don't know if I've seen Carrie Fisher in anything else except for Star Wars, honestly.
I mean, there's things that she's been in. I don't know that you've seen them.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
But also, I wouldn't know if I recognized her because even throughout the movie, I'm like, I think that's because I saw her name in the credits, of course. I'm like, I think that's her, but I wasn't sure. I feel like she blew things out of proportion at the end. Sally did. And I can't remember why. The big fight they had where she wouldn't like call him back and everything.
Was it the after sex fight?
Yeah, I think so.
After they hooked up?
Yeah, maybe.
Perhaps that was it. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it too.
I mean, it was the only time they didn't talk in the movie.
Right.
So it had to be that.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like she was just being immature and...
Instead of trying to have a conversation about it.
Yeah. Like, okay, obviously things are never going to be
no,
the way they
changed.
were. Everything has
changed.
And you need to deal with that.
Right.
Like,
you can't you've got to figure that out. And I definitely think watching it back, they played into where their stereotypes were, for lack of a better word. He said all through the beginning that he, after he hooks up with a girl for the first time, he tries to get out of there as fast as he possibly can.
Right.
Excuse me. And she, takes her time before she goes to bed with anybody. And yeah, she was feeling very, emotionally vulnerable and all that because she found out her ex was, which by the way, there's not a single one of my exes I'm going to call and be like, oh, by the way, I'm getting married. I could care less on their side, and I hope that they're the same way.
Right.
Like, that relationship's over, even in friend-wise, like anything. It is done. Like, there's no reason for me to call you. So that drove me nuts. I'm like, that guy's a dick. That's all there is to that. That guy was a dick. So... But she was emotionally compromised. They hooked up. But I think that was 10 years of, getting to know each other over the course of time and everything. Basically, they were in a relationship without knowing they were in a relationship, without accepting that they were in a relationship. I think it's neat that it took him so long to get over his breakup.
Yeah, Helen was
and
that
Helen, yeah. And she... just kind of, I screwed this word up the other day when we were talking too. Compartmentalize her feelings and stuff like that. And I thought that was a nice dynamic that played out because I feel like most people would feel it would be the opposite way.
Absolutely.
In
yeah.
stereotypical form.
Especially with what he's shown you throughout the movie. Like,
right.
I'm just, trying to get out there as quickly as possible and whatever. You wouldn't expect him to be all mopey for quite some time.
Yeah, for some time.
Yeah.
For a good bit.
And then, like you said, Sally just, I'm over it. And clearly she wasn't over it. Right. She had the breakdown later.
Right. I think after they hooked up, like we said, everything changes, and that goes for anybody. I mean, if you've ever slept with a friend or even made out with a friend, everything changes.
Everything's different.
Everything is different after that. And you have to be two adults to work it out.
That's it.
To figure out Is there something to this? Were we just both vulnerable? Was someone taking advantage of another person? That's something you got to talk and figure out. And she completely
dropped the ball.
Shut him out on that.
That was my problem. Is
Yeah.
you at least have to say, I'm very confused, whatever right now. I need a little bit of space to process this. I will get back to you when I'm ready. You can't just
just be done.
Yeah.
Where he's, once again, they're playing against type, where he is like trying to, initially they both just blow it off. Oh yeah, but he even says, I need her to say it first.
Yeah.
She needs to be the first one to say it was a mistake. Mm-hmm. And then when she does, and the game plays out, if you will, he's the one that's still pining, still going, wait, we got to talk about this. We got to, he is you would expect it again to be the other way around. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a nice dynamic that they brought into this movie and did that, kind of turned turn the whole world upside down on that one.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's all my notes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did not have many.
Well, that's all right. Well, so my interpretation of you not having many was that you were into it, that you were watching it, and you were, not that you don't pay attention to any other movies, not saying that at all, but like you were invested a bit in this one because you were just like, you weren't taking notes. You were like, okay. You were accepting these characters as they are, moving through everything that they were and stuff like that, which I think is kind of cool. But that's, once again, my interpretation. I could be completely wrong.
I mean, it just... Okay, no, I don't know. I was going to say it just wasn't remarkable, but that's not true. That's not an accurate summation. I guess I did. I really enjoyed this movie. I loved it. It was my favorite holiday. New Year's played a big role in it. Mm-hmm. The development of their relationship was interesting to me, like the slow burn kind of thing. The cute anecdotes scattered in between the years or whatever, to break up the chapters. Yeah. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really cute. It might be one of my new favorite movies.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It holds up very well. Because yes, while technology and stuff has changed, the movie itself holds up very well. The story is timeless. I think a lot of people need to rediscover this movie and watch it again, especially if you are in a very secure relationship. Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting to watch because to me, it helped me reflect on my past ones and go how they molded me to get where I am now.
Yeah.
Because I think that's absolutely what happened to these two, is their past relationships helped push and mold them to where they were, to change their ideologies, especially his, and where they, at the end of it, in that last, whatever it is, year or so, where they, start dating without saying they're dating. They start going to things, they start dating, and then eventually they hook up, and then all hell breaks loose. But I think all of that is such a really realistic portrayal of a natural, healthy relationship to me. I really do. I think it's kind of neat. The movie's almost documentary like that.
Yeah, especially it feels documentary like too with the
interviews,
the
yeah, segments.
No, I agree. You have to. I guess that's why people, that stupid cliche of you'll find love when you're never looking for it. You're not looking for it because you're just focused. You're working on yourself. You're doing the things that you want to do, and that's how you unwittingly meet whoever.
Right. You end up opening yourself up without knowing it.
Yeah.
You open yourself up to letting people in. Because as I said at the beginning, you become more comfortable with yourself, and who you are and what you want, your desire. Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. What's your rating of this film, baby?
I'm struggling. I guess I'm going to have to give it a 9.
A 9?
I said it's going to be one of my new favorite movies.
Wow.
Like, I just want to, on a sick day, I would put this movie on or something.
It's a good one for that.
Yeah.
It really is. And yes, all of y'all who are like freaking out that we're not talking about the fucking fake orgasm scene. Yes, it happened. It's there. It's great. It's hilarious. Are we done with that? There's more to this movie than that scene. That's just it. This movie is very obviously well known for that whole scene in Cat's Deli where she fakes the orgasm. It's like, I mean, the quote that you have up there.
I'll
have what she's having. First of all, that was Rob Reiner's mom who delivered that line.
Really?
Yep. That was Rob Reiner's mom who delivered it. Secondly, that's on the AFI, American Film Institute. That's on their list of the 100 greatest quotes of all time. It's somewhere in there, it's in the top 50, quotes of all time. It's like one of the most, oft quoted lines. The scene is one of the most famous scenes from this movie. It might be the most famous scene from this movie. And rewatching it and rediscovering it again, it's got so much more than that one sequence in it. While that one sequence is funny and slightly awkward with whoever you're watching it with, it wasn't for us, but it can be with certain people, you know, depending on what your relationship is with people.
I was watching this with my mom.
It might be a little awkward. Well, especially if you were like a teenager watching this with your mom or something. It's overall, the movie's fantastic. It is a really great film. I once again, like, I rediscovered it watching this. You know, I haven't seen it in 15 or so years.
You sound like you're about to wrap it up, and I have more questions.
Oh, you do?
I do.
I was trying to wrap it up.
You
I thought
were.
we had the short notes
well,
here.
you just made me think of more when we were just talking.
Okay, bonus.
So I'll have what she's having.
Yes.
That didn't really have any. Did it have the same meaning before the movie, or the movie kind of turned it into like the innuendo that it is?
Yes, the movie turned it. The movie turned it into the innuendo
that it is.
Correct.
Okay. Does Rob Reiner put his mom in every movie?
I think he tries to. I think she's in a lot of his films. I think it's the first time she ever had a speaking line.
Okay.
But I think she's in a lot of his films. He tries to sneak her in there somewhere.
There's one other thing, and now I forget. Oh, I remember what it is.
Yes.
So, you were talking about the orgasm scene being one. I had no idea that was a thing. But there's an episode of the OC that really reminds me of this. It's a New Year's Eve episode, and Ryan and Marissa are like, are they dating? Maybe they're dating. Maybe they're not dating. And then it's like 10 minutes to midnight, and Ryan's like, I need to find Marissa. And so he runs to the party she's at, and they're counting down, and it's 5, 4, and he appears in the doorway, and Marissa sees him, and she smiles, and then they go and they kiss.
I would definitely say it seems like that's very heavily influenced.
I would agree. Yeah.
Movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
I mean, it sounds like it. Sounds absolutely like it's very heavily influenced by this movie. Now it makes a little more sense to you. Now it's like, oh, this movie was a little familiar, and I didn't know why. Now you know.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Seen parts of it on the OC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
there
all.
you go. Okay. Well, no worries then. So I guess now we're officially wrapping this up. We've got ourselves another romantic film coming up next week. I personally love it. It's not as over the top romantic as this one, but it's definitely got some kind of crazy moments, opposites attract kind of thing in it. It's pretty cool. So stick around, tune in next week when we have that one coming out, and then I guess we'll see you next time. I got nothing else to say after that. So yeah.
I love you.
I love you. I do. I don't know if I love you people yet. We'll see.
I love you for watching us. Like, share, subscribe. Do those things.
Thank you.